All right, Jonathan, thank you so much for taking some time to jump on this testimonial call with me about our 100K Accelerator and our Realtor Referral recruiting program. Do you want to tell everybody where you work, just in case there's some agents out there that will see this video that may want to work with you?
Sure. My name is John Eisenbar, as you know, and I work at North Point Bank, and we're good at the programs like FHA, VA, conventional, things like that. But then we also have niche portfolio loans. So bank statement loans. We have the all-in-one loan, if you know what that is,
Hmm.
and that's a pretty progressive loan. They use it in the UK and Australia and Canada. We're one of two companies, and actually we're affiliated with the other company that has all-in-one loan. But um, I started in this business in the FHA world, so I know the government loans, and I also know conventional. And then the reason I work with North Point is because we have a portfolio arsenal that's pretty great. So,
Mm-hmm.
and
What?
only do
What?
one thing that I love about North Point is all we do is mortgages. So we
Hmm.
have checking accounts, but we don't. Our main focus, if we stop doing mortgages, we'd probably go out of business. So
Yeah.
that's huge to me. So,
That's your focus. Um,
hmm
what markets do you serve, or do you have
I
agents
serve
coming
all
from?
50 states. Although I can do loans in all 50 states, but mainly the Midwest, down Florida, down south,
Okay.
things like that. And the Seattle area, I have quite a bit of business in that area as well. Um, when it gets into Hawaii and Alaska, that gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
So, but the lower 48, I can do business in, no problem.
Awesome. So if you are an agent and you're looking for a loan officer, or if you're a loan officer and you want to talk to somebody that's an expert in the fields that Jonathan named or named earlier, please feel free to reach out. His link will be down below, so you can reach out to him.
Thank
All right,
you so
John. Absolutely. Thank you, John. So what the first question, I have all my questions listed here because, as you know, I'm Mr. like follow my line, so I don't forget what's going on here. So everybody who ever watches this
much.
video is going to know that. But what was one of the problems you were trying to solve? As you came to the 100K Accelerator, or for your sake, the Realtor Recruiting Referral Partner Recruiting Program.
Well, I wouldn't say so. I just want to grow. I want to
Mm-hmm.
grow as a loan originator. I'm doing fine, and I could have just kept doing what I was doing. But I feel like if you don't grow, you die.
Mm.
So your the free seminar that you gave me, the 1 hour, um, and that 1 hour training, and then that's when I decided to do the 100K accelerator. I love that the fact that we're coming from a point of contribution and not just begging for business. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I love. And I'll tell you, agents are more open to a conversation. It doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily send you every deal they have,
Yeah.
but hey, if you can be a resource for them, and if you stay in touch with them, I mean, any program you still have to stay in touch with the realtors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this program just at least allows the first conversation, the initial conversation, to be one of value to them, and then they want more. They actually, I mean, they're just more receptive, I guess,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
in that 1 hour training, like I said, when you said come from a point of contribution, that's what sold me.
Awesome.
So mhm.
Awesome. So not necessarily a problem. You're a successful guy. You're running a successful business. You want to continue to grow and come from a point of contribution and connect with as many
Right,
agents as possible. Okay.
right, and I think there will be a problem if I don't grow, right?
Yeah.
So I was really correcting you. It just that I guess I understood what you were saying, but it was just more like, hey, let's grow. Let's
Yeah.
keep growing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we're doing that fairly well. I think the growth is starting to compound. I think is the right word at this point in time, and we just got to keep
Oh,
pushing through the rest of the year for sure.
the classes
Um,
have had 100 agents in there. I mean, and
yeah.
they're all like, and I get agents messaging me. They want, hey, can you send me the video again because they want to recap and things like
Hmm.
that. So it's all positive stuff. It's all
Uh,
positive. So
it's fun too, right? Like I have fun. I think we're giving people something that some of them have done before, they forgot about, right? And so I think
hmm
pushing that home and changing the mindset and like, hey, don't forget that this stuff works very well. And, I think that helps quite a bit. Um,
yeah, I've had a lot of success stories. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
hmm
on to that note, as a result of being in this program, what are some of the things that you've seen in your business, whether it's, leads with agents, connections with agents? What have been some of the results that you've received so far as maybe number of agents that you're working with or talking with right now?
Well, they're all willing to like sit down and do a Zoom call with me
Mm-hmm.
and go through what products I have and things like that. Um, this is on me because I just made a transition from one company to another.
Mm-hmm.
So I am having to starting next week. I'm going to start the Zoom call. So they've all agreed to do a Zoom call with me.
Fantastic.
And so that's the first step to me to getting the next deal. And then I've had agents. I had one yesterday ask me for my contact information so that she could send an app to her clients. And actually, an agent sent me a lead last week. So
There you go.
it's just like anything else. I mean, it takes time, but you have to follow up. You have to be that, as they say, you without being too pushy. You have to be in front of them. And
Yeah.
so that's a success I've seen. And then, Joseph, when you're ready, I can tell you a really cool success story that I heard actually in about you, actually,
Yeah.
from an agent,
Yeah.
unsolicited, the whole nine. So let me know when you're ready for that one.
Yeah, I definitely want to dive into that more. We've been doing this
Okay.
for years, so getting to hear those stories, because sometimes they don't approach me and tell me those stories, right? Because it's like, oh, I don't want to go tell the
Right,
coach or the teacher, but I get
right.
those stories from other people, so it's always a blessing to hear that stuff. Um,
Yeah.
well, awesome. So you've got two lead, and then somebody else requested your contact information to send you an app.
hmm
Um, you know, one thing that you said that was interesting was these things take time, but reality is
hmm
when we actually started recruiting agents and started the first training, from that date, I think we're 2 weeks. So we're about 6 weeks in, realistically,
hmm
right?
hmm
If I'm not
hmm
mistaken. In
Right.
that time frame, how many agents have you spoken with since we started about, I guess, roughly 6 weeks ago?
30. And remember, I was making a transition. So I told them up until 2 weeks ago, Joseph, to not
Mm-hmm.
send me business. They were like,
Yeah,
"Oh, we'll send you business," and I'm like, "No, don't send me business yet," because I'm in a
yeah,
place where we would have closed the loan, we would have done things, but I'm not going to have them send me business, and I'm leaving.
yeah,
So the timing happened that
yeah.
way. Um, but every last one of them, I bet you, I could call them, and they'll take my call. They'll take my
Mm-hmm.
text. I've texted them, and they return my text. I've heard
Yeah.
their life stories. I mean, it's a start, and it's a numbers game, right? So I look at it this way: if I can get 120 agents over 12 months to do a Zoom call with me, that's
Mm-hmm.
going to produce results, right?
Yes.
Huge
Absolutely.
result,
Absolutely.
huge result.
Because I think a lot of loan officers and real estate agents, right? We put our egos before anything else sometimes, right? And it's
Right.
unfortunate. Our business is that way, and it's built on
hmm
competition
Right.
in many cases. And so I think whenever you can help remove the ego from the agent, because you're, I think, much like me,
hmm
you do your business, you do great at your business, but you're humble about what your success is, right?
Right.
And I think whenever you can do that, other agents are like, okay, I can talk to this guy. He's not going to come in here and just punch me in the face with a whole bunch of stuff. He's going to actually help me see
hmm
what I can be successful with,
Right.
right? And so I think that
Exactly.
helps quite a bit.
Yeah, you come from a point of contribution. Let's help you get your business going. I love the program. I'm completely in as long as you
Yeah.
let me in.
Yo, if we can get you 120 agents in 2024, 2025, and you're even more successful than you are right now, I will feel extremely honored to be able to do that.
Right.
So yes, I think we're going to keep rolling
And I
for sure.
guess there's the problem you solved. I mean, it took me to swallow my pride and say, okay, I need to do something more if I want to continue. Right. So
Hmm.
there's the issue right there that we're solving.
Awesome. Awesome. Um,
hmm
so I have two more questions. Before, I guess before you started this, and this, we'll call it this 6 week period, we've had about 30 agents
hmm
that you've had conversations with. Before
hmm
that, let's say the previous 6 week period, how many agents had you spoken with and planned on doing Zoom calls with? Because I think that's something loan officers might be really realistically contemplating at the time.
Um, I had my core realtors that I do business with, but I wasn't doing Zoom calls with agents. I wasn't meeting new agents. I was. stuck in the same old thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you know, yeah, I've been in since 2002, so you get a little complacent, and this has
Mm-hmm.
just brought a whole new, like, I guess it's a new thrill to the
Mm-hmm.
game.
Yeah.
I guess is what you call it. And like if you've been in the business for a while, you sometimes get to the point where you're just like you're on auto you're on cruise control.
Yeah.
And this just brought a whole new refreshing experience to my business. I mean, it's just it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
really awesome.
It's fun. It's fun to see. It's fun to see the excitement, right? Especially when somebody's been in the game for a while, and then they're like, "Oh, there's a
Right.
spark that I needed to have another push, or add some things to my business." It's definitely fun. So that's awesome
Yeah.
to hear.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's great.
and then the final question is, if there is a realtor considering taking this right program, because we're going to be running ads and stuff to real estate agents, or a loan officer who's on the fence about maybe taking our program to help sponsor agents, what would you tell a realtor and a loan officer considering this?
I would tell a loan officer if they're new or if they're a veteran, both. This is a great way to meet agents. It's a great way. I know that my 2023 will be fine. We could
Mm-hmm.
we could do a '08 crash and I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll actually thrive during that time. The way things are going, and then to agents, um, Joseph, as much as I really followed you the last 3 years and saw the posts online and everything else, I don't want to say I was skeptical, but I was like, I hope this class is what he says it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because even though it's free, agents are brutally honest
Mm-hmm.
about wasting their time. I have
Yes.
not had one person say that you've wasted their time. I'm getting like thank yous.
Yeah.
Thank you for this class after they've taken the class.
Mm.
So it's we can be very, as humans, very skeptical
Yes.
of marketing classes and things like that, especially if you've been in the business a while. But success stories, I had one agent in Pennsylvania who's a top producer,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, I don't know, I'm pretty content and stuff, but I do need to. He was kind of like me. He's like, I need to grow.
Yeah.
Um, and so he told me he got a listing that he would have never gotten had he not exercised what you did. It
Yeah.
gets better. I
Mm.
talked to an agent in Baton Rouge who actually was going to get out of the business, Joseph.
Mm.
And I think I texted you about this. And she said that she was about to get out of the business March of 2020 and actually took your class.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's a top producer at her brokerage, and she's actually training other agents. And I don't know what
That's
class
nuts.
she took. And I said, "Did you tell Joseph this?" And she's like, "No, I didn't tell him." I said, "Do you mind if I tell him?" And that's when I told you. And then I had another one tell me that they got a buyer or a listing. I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly who that was, but the previous story was the one that really highlighted it for me, because she's like she just she owes you. I mean, in
Mm.
her opinion,
Yeah.
she's like, she was going to get out of the real estate business and go into be an LO, and then COVID hit, and she couldn't take the test. So she had
Yeah.
already taken the class, and then she's like, now I'm a top producer at my brokerage. I'm using his principles. I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually teaching things that I learned in his classes,
Yeah.
and to other agents within her brokerage. So yeah, it was awesome.
Awesome. So if you're LO, know that I think one of the biggest questions is every time I get on we'll call it a sales call consultation
Mhm.
with a loan
Sure.
officer, the question is always, well, what type of agents do you bring? And I'm like, literally, we bring every type of agent from top producers to
Mhm.
newbies. I can't tell you who you're going to speak, or I can give you have a list of people you speak to, but I
Mhm.
can't tell you who you might want to work with because the personality might be somebody who's brand new, but
Mhm.
they're a go-getter. They just need some direction, right? Like this agent you were
Right.
talking about. And
Mhm.
yeah, for agents, all I ask is that you pay it forward. Teach somebody else what we do because we just want to have more and more successful people. So
Right.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan, I appreciate your time. We'll chat
Sure.
some more in just a minute, and if we come up with any cool ideas, we'll share it with the other loan officers here in a bit. But thank you so much for your
Okay.
time.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.